Hey, how you all doing out there in Inksland? Hope you're doing really well. Had an awesome weekend, relaxing, recharging with the family, and hopefully having a little bit of break from trying to work at home and whatever else is going on. Now, I had to put the tie on today because we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Brett Price, who is our amazing accountant from Inks. And I thought it'd be really cool to get him in here to talk all things money, have a look at some of these government stimulus packages, and explore a little bit about his business as well. So let's dive straight in. G'day, Brett. How you doing?
Hello, how you going?
Really good. You look relaxed there.
You dressed up. I took the tie off.
I did say to wear your very best working from home t-shirt, but you've still got a collar. You can't help yourself.
Exactly.
So I like to ask this question: teleportation or flying?
Say that again.
Teleportation or flying?
Flying.
Flying? Why is that?
I don't know. Is there a hidden meaning behind that question or not?
There's never a hidden meaning. It just all depends on your style, you know. Like, do you like to get there quick, or is it about the journey?
Good question. Good question. It's about the journey for me, so I'll change it. Teleportation.
Yeah. Oh, so it's about the destination. It's not the journey.
Both.
It's all good. Let's not stay on that too long. I think people want to hear something of some substance. So you've been more than over 20 years in the business of accounting and business advice. What's the exact number by 2020?
2020. So this is now approaching 30 years. So 29 years in the accounting profession, which is
wow.
It goes really quick. It's a passion of mine. I really, really love my work, love going, and doing things for clients, which helps them out. So 30 years has gone really quick.
Wow, that's awesome. And you're completely Newcastle born, bred, studied business. Like, have you had a life outside of Newcastle at all?
No, not at all. So Newcastle born, Newcastle bred, through the University of Newcastle, then some postgrad studies, and always been in Newcastle. So
wow,
it's it's a great place to be.
It is cool. I did start in Dubbo, and there is a very enlightening piece of news. I think the newspaper was doing some highlights of people, up and comers in the business world. I think I was a whole 18 years old, and in this article I'm like, Dubbo's got it all happening. I can see myself here for the rest of my life. It's like I had to bail, unfortunately, at some point.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I get that. And also, you're very involved in the community here in Newcastle in lots of different capacities. But I guess in relation to professional organisations, you've been involved in the junior chamber, the big chamber. What other organisations have you been a part of here?
Oh, there's only been a couple of, so the junior chamber, yes, I was a director on the junior chamber. And also the local chapter for the Institute of Chartered Accountants. I was the chairman of that for a good 3 or 4 years, and some local professional groups of bookkeepers, which I've developed some really good relationships with. Try to keep try and encourage each other in the profession to do what we can for clients. Yeah.
Coming back. Sorry, Brett, I think I lost you there for a second.
That's right.
Hazards of using mobile phones.
That's all right. I got you now.
So you're just saying, I think I lost you at bookkeepers.
Yeah, so just for me, it's important about developing good relationships with community and helping other people in the profession whether they be younger professionals or bookkeepers that we do a lot of work with, helping them along and making sure that there's
Yeah.
plenty of work out there for everyone, and trying to make each other better.
That's so cool. So very involved, and like you said, very at the beginning, you're very passionate about the industry and what you do. So I guess that's the proof in the pudding. There's also some other cool things you're involved with. I remember the Christmas party this year. As our going home gifts, we got a very colourful item. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I spotted you at Westfield with one of those items.
I love it.
So we, as a firm, we do some philanthropic work for the Philippines. Trevor and Rose, who are principals in the firm, they support some people in the Philippines in their studies, and there's so many talented people in the Philippines, but poverty means that they cannot reach their full potential. So they support a couple of people in their tertiary education through the Philippines. There's also a livelihood centre in the Philippines which make those products that you were talking about, and just helping them realise their full
Yeah,
potential.
that's so cool. And I think it's amazing to see the business, I guess, aspect of it. Like it's very much connected to what you're doing and helping these people have sustainable enterprises and businesses within their own community. So it's not just a handout, but it's a real kind of lifeline and something that will grow and develop.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it's just about people reaching their full potential, even if it may be making
Mm.
shopping bags. That
Yeah,
is fantastic for them.
yeah. No, it's awesome. And you've given it away. It was a shopping bag made out of, I think, old packaging, like chip packets or something that are
Yeah,
all stitched together beautifully. And it's
yeah.
such a good, solid bag. I love it. So so for anyone who's watching this live right now, we really hope that you have some questions. So start funneling those through, because I'd like to get into some kind of more meaty topics now around this whole COVID-19 thing you might have heard of that's happening at the moment. And just, these conversations are really around like looking at different businesses and looking at how they've had to cope with or deal with change, and adapt to these current, the climate of having to work either from home or remotely, and deliver their services and products in a different way. So what are some of the kind of, I guess, examples or things that you've seen from an accounting and a business perspective with your clients? What are some of the sort of really interesting cases you've seen?
Look, there's a few, and obviously confidentiality is important. But the hardest sector hit by coronavirus has been obviously the hospitality industry.
Mm,
Some cafes and restaurants who have not diversified, is not the right word, but tried to meet the client demands. So, whether they
yeah,
be obviously takeaways, but it might be the survival type box where people are getting together, a good couple of meals and then throwing in a couple of extra things with that. Especially in this Newcastle area with apartments,
mm,
little did they realise that they might be sitting at the bottom of an apartment building, and upwards of that they've got literally geographically upwards, they've got hundreds upon hundreds of potential customers that they can hop into, and everyone is
yeah,
after Friday night or Saturday night still want that takeaway meal. So they're actually doing well, and
mm,
so look, people are diversifying, and it doesn't need to be a diversification into another industry or another sector. It's just about thinking more
yeah,
laterally and servicing your existing clients.
yeah. Oh, it's really interesting. I did, like, just on the whole food and the that industry. I feel like some of the takeaway, people that were already sort of geared towards that have possibly even flourished during this season, where they've been able to adapt quickly with using apps, having the curbside pickups and things like that.
Yeah, and for me, with my clients, it's about getting them through this next period. So, all indications are it's 6 months, but whatever it turns out to be, they've just got to get through, and they've got to be there on the other
Yeah,
side. And if they can be there and still service their customer base and be there on the other side, that's when,
Yep.
not everyone will be. So, for my clients, it's
Yeah.
about making them get through and being there at the
Yeah.
other side.
What are some of the other industries that you've been able to observe firsthand?
Look, there's a few. We've got a fairly large client in out of Sydney, and they're flourishing. They, again, without going into detail, but they provide products to the likes of Woolworths and Coles. I mean, they're not
Yep.
every industry is going the other way. Other industries
Mm.
are increasing. Another client in IT, like Shane, for you, live streaming or website
Yep.
promotion. And I think for my clients, it's about, hey, don't waste this opportunity. You've got some
Mm.
time now to sit and dedicate to the things that you've always wanted to do, but never had time to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
use this as a real opportunity to, be there on the other side and have an improved business.
Yeah.
And financially that will be tough, but there's a few good things out there to get people through.
Mm. Yeah, that's really cool. I wonder, I mean, the professional services industry, obviously, I feel like would continue fairly well through this season. Manufacturing, um, I don't really have a much of an insight into manufacturing or some of those, but I assume like there's still a lot of consumption still happening at
Yeah, and
the ground level.
Yeah, and this is it's indiscriminatory. So it is hitting every business. It's hitting medical
Mm.
practitioners who you know
Mm.
for elective surgery. If you specialised in elective surgery, you have just been stopped of making your
Yeah.
money for a certain period. So it's hitting everyone. Professional services is still ongoing now more than ever. Is when people
Yeah.
want to talk to us, clients want to talk to us because they need good advice.
Yeah. Yep.
Generally, in
So
good
talking
times,
about,
yeah.
sorry, in good times they don't
That's
want
all
to
right.
talk to you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's in these times that we find we're at most value.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're valuable all the time, Brett.
I knew that.
But talking about some of that good advice, let's have a quick look at some of maybe the stimulus packages that have been made available. I mean, this is an ever-changing landscape, and I know for us we've had to kind of lean onto you quite heavily to get us through this because the media is putting so much stuff out there, and some of it's very conflicting and difficult to navigate. Um, are you able to speak to the current situation there? I guess for small businesses.
Yeah, look, it's been major over the past 4 weeks. I mean, when the government first came out with their package, like their first package was $89 billion. They soon
Mm.
realised in the space of about 10 days that was not going to touch the surface of what was required. So it actually increased from
Yeah.
89 to $320 billion. The measures are really substantial. And for most of my clients, we've had three plans. We've had one plan and then threw it away, a second plan and then threw it away, and now it's onto the third plan because of the stimulus packages that have been rolled out progressively over the past 3 weeks. But they are, for now, they are fairly major, and the stimulus out there, you just want to make sure that you are eligible for it, one, and if you are, then accessing it is, look, for us, it's an easy process, but as you know, Shane, there is a lot of, whether they whirlpools, Facebook forums, there's a lot of information, but the detail is really tricky.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it's obviously very important to have a financial advisor through this period to help filter out all of that misinformation and get down to it.
Yeah, and the major one, the game changer, was obviously JobKeeper, which is the one that has, probably got the most media play, and the enrolment in that JobKeeper process became available just today. It's already been taken. Parts of it have already been removed from the ATO website because they realised there was errors, and it's been put back on in the space of the last 4 hours. So just got to be patient, but you do have this 10-day window to get JobKeeper application in before the end of April. if you want to
Yep.
be in for the 6 month period. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a number of criteria with that particular package. Are you able to tell us off the top of your head what some of those eligibility criteria are?
Yeah, look, as an employer, the most critical, there's a range of criteria. The critical one is you need to suffer a 30% decline in your income compared to the same period in the previous year.
Mm.
So, and once you're in for the JobKeeper scheme, you are in for the 6 months. It doesn't matter if in July all of a sudden your sales double. You
Yep.
just need to prove that you've suffered a 30% decline to get in for the full 6 months, being April through to September. You need to prove a decline in turnover in either the month of March, the month of April, or
Yep.
projected for the quarter of June, 30 June.
Yep.
And once you're in, you're in. So it's $1,500 per fortnight per employee. So
Yep.
for some of our clients in the past week, it has literally been a $350,000 decision. Um,
Wow.
yeah, if we could show that 30% decline and get into that scheme for a 6 month period, it will save businesses.
Mm.
And it's important that you only want to get what you're entitled for. So one,
Yeah.
we make sure you're entitled and you're eligible, and then make the process as easy as possible to make sure you secure that JobKeeper payment.
Yeah. And that's for permanent, part-time and casual.
Casuals if they've been with you for more than 12 months.
Right.
Okay, so you're right, there's permanent employees, part-time employees, or casuals that have been with you for more than 12 months.
Yep.
And then for your smaller micro type businesses, so it may be your sole traders, the rules are a little bit more complex. But if you are eligible, you also would get $1,500 for yourself as the sole
Mm.
trader or the sole operator of that business. So, for
Yep.
a sole trader, it's $20,000 over the next 6 months.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I guess that may actually represent a lot of the businesses within the Inks community and the creative communities that we're directly linked with. A lot of, self-employed or even the freelancers and things like that, which I think the whole freelancer area is very grey. But that should fall into the self-employed section, shouldn't it?
It will if you're a sole trader. There is sole traders are difficult because there's an integrity measure involved. So what they basically said is that for you as a sole trader to be eligible, you obviously need an ABN, and you need to have either lodged your tax return by the 12th of March
Mm-hmm.
or lodging business activity statements from 1 July 18 through to date. So
Right.
it's like an integrity measure. What they didn't want is a whole heap of pop-up businesses saying,
Yeah.
yes, I'm in business and here is my income. And so there's some integrity measures in there, but it is more difficult if you are a sole trader who have not been lodging BASs, if your turnover is less than
Mm.
$75,000 a year. But certainly that's something you need to talk to an advisor about.
Yeah, no, it's very tricky. I know within the film and television industry in particular, which I'm operating in, there's a lot of hurting freelancers out there that, all of their work's being cut because it's very difficult to shoot film projects at the moment, keeping social distancing and all the other measures and just keeping safe. And so there's a lot of people out there not able to do anything. So no, that's really good to know. What about some of the other stimulus packages, like instant write-off, supporting flow of credit, apprentices and trainees? Are they all still
Yeah,
part of the package?
yeah, they still are. So the main one is JobKeeper. The second main one is if you've got employees and you withhold tax for those employees, you get a cash flow boost once you lodge your BAS. So that happens automatically. Does not need to be applied for. It just happens when you lodge your business activity statement. The other one is it's a New South Wales government grant. So it was announced by the New South Wales government, and it's mainly aimed at those businesses which have been highly impacted by the restrictions on gathering order. So that's a
Yep.
$10,000 grant through the state government. And then the other measures are around, Shane, as you said, around the go out and stimulate the economy, do your patriotic thing and go and buy things.
Yeah.
And unless you're really robust financially, I'm going to go against those and say, hang on to all the cash you have and let's just get through
Yeah.
this period. Don't go out and actually buy a whole heap of stuff unless it's a really good. You're in a really good financial position to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes very good sense. So I guess in wrapping up today, what would Brett Price's top 5 tips for a small business be today if they were to just leave this stream and go and do some actions? What would they be?
First action, I would contact your advisor, whether that be your accountant or financial advisor, or just contact someone that is in the know so they can help you through the process. It is complex, so that'd be number one. Number two would be it's for me and my clients is all about survival. So review your business, review your expenses, cut any non-essential costs that you have. Look at ways that you can increase income. If you have been highly impacted, it's a time when you can sit back and, it's glass half full rather than glass half empty attitude, and work on your business so that you survive this next 6-month period. Do I need to name 5?
That was 2.
That was 2. Third would be, obviously there is stimulus payments around. For a small business, it could be upwards of $20,000 worth of stimulus payments. That would obviously help meet some fixed costs over this next little period. 4 is I'm struggling now. 4.
I'm pushing you. 3's a good number as well.
Very good number.
3's awesome. I guess it all does come down to talking to your advisor, because they will negotiate. They'll help you negotiate through all the stuff and connect you with the forms and the websites and all of the places that we need to go. So I think that's really good, solid advice. Getting into those P&Ls and balance sheets and look for the fat and the things that can be trimmed back, and don't spend money unless you really, really need to. Is that right?
100%.
So that big new screen I just bought for my home office.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not important. I'm going to get in trouble off my accountant later.
That's good. You've done well. That's okay. I mean, look, the stimulus is out there to encourage people to spend, but you just need to do it rationally and thoughtfully.
Yeah. No, it goes around, I guess, and the hope is that somewhere amongst the money sharing it, some of it will be shared with you, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's good. I like to also, just moving on from the serious stuff, I like to see your home office, but I don't know if that's going to be possible today. But what for you has been the hardest part about working home for you?
Oh, look, I struggled at first. I did not like it at all. But after 2 weeks at home, I don't know, I'm getting used to it. I could maybe not even, I may not go back to the office.
Yeah. You reckon you could shut the lease down on the office and just continue going from home?
Well, that is, I mean, that's another thing is, you start to look at things in a different way. And for us, we pay, significant dollars in rent. And maybe a way of the future is you don't need that, you don't need that office space. You don't need that footprint. And for some businesses, that footprint is a good chunk of their overhead. Yeah,
it's huge. It's massive. And I wonder how that's going to work for all of the commercial property people. I guess they're going to have to look at alternatives for those spaces, aren't they?
Exactly.
So, and I guess you probably answered the other half, because I was going to ask what the hardest and what the easiest part was. But are you finding the discipline and the routine at home, like have you evolved that a little bit?
Oh, look, I've got older children, so my kids are grown up. It's quite easy to work from home. I would not want to be working from home with younger kids and trying to homeschool and things like that. But for me, I'm an early starter. I'm up at 6 a.m. and that's when I get most of my work done between 6 and say 9, and then that just gives me a good
Yeah.
start to the day. If things happen through the day, which they no doubt do, at least you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I just want to say to those that have put some questions up there on the Facebook, we'll respond to those after the live stream. They're really important, so we want to make sure we get back to you on those. And Brett, thank you again for coming in and sharing your wisdom with us today. It's been really, really enlightening. If
Sure thing.
anyone was to connect with you, what's the best way?
For me, probably I won't give out my mobile, but definitely my email. I don't know if you can put that up later, or
We can.
but yeah, pop me an email through, or you can ring our office number. And certainly, we've got we've got some good people in the office, and if you need some help navigating through this process, certainly, give us a call.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Awesome. Well, thank you all out there in Facebook land for joining us today for Inks Exchange. We'll be back on Wednesday for another enlightening conversation, and I look forward to seeing you then. Catch you later.